delivered in depth and clarity. I'm Caren Kibbett, and tonight, the political landscape takes a new turn as UDA and ODM formalize their engagement. What does this mean for Kenya's future? We'll talk about that later on. Plus, the developments in the world of business and all the action from the sports scene. We've got all this and more lined up. So stay tuned. Here are the highlights. Prime Minister Raila Odinga, UDA and ODM formalize their political engagement, committing to re-establish the office of Prime Minister. It's a downpour of praises as President Ruto and Raila Odinga put pen to paper their political partnership. You have betrayed Kenyans, Kalonzo Musyoka tells Raila Odinga, referring to his signing of a political pact with President Ruto as betrayal in the city. And on the Savage Netizens tonight, find out why this Sunday all roads lead to a particular church in a specific place. This is Easy Friday. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Lucy Mwaura. Now, President William Ruto and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga have signed a memorandum of understanding that marks the working together of the UDA and ODM parties beginning Friday. While penning the deal at KICC in the presence of officials from both parties, the two leaders vowed to fully implement recommendations of the National Dialogue Committee report that includes the creation of the Office of Prime Minister and Office of the Leader of Opposition, among others, signaling a looming constitutional change process. Giverson Maina now reports.
Leo ni ile siku ya kumalizana na ukabila.
Kenyatta International Convention Center on Friday hosted President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga. They were bringing together members of parliament and other leaders, including governors from both UDA and ODM parties, in a historic event that saw the two sides pen a cooperation agreement.
I must congratulate His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and the courage he has to make difficult decisions. Not many leaders can make the kind of decisions the Right Honorable Raila Odinga can make.
I managed to get the feeling of my people, my supporters. And that's the reason why I am today able and confident to sign this document.
Because the unity of this country is greater.
The former arch-rivals announced the return of the report of the National Dialogue Committee that was gathering dust in Parliament.
We have always been making politically correct decisions. We need to make decisions that are correct as far as the interests of the people of Kenya are concerned.
As leaders of the largest political parties in the country, we arrived at the understanding that in a time of significant changes and challenges to our nation, it is not enough to merely grandstand or stand aside and criticize, easy as those may be.
Its full implementation will include the creation of two new state offices, Office of the Official Leader of Opposition and the Office of the Prime Minister. It also recommends implementation of the two-thirds gender rule as required in the Constitution. Other agreements include ensuring inclusivity in all public life, protecting and strengthening devolution, promoting and protecting the livelihoods of young people, leadership and integrity, right to peaceful assembly and protest, addressing the national debt burden, fighting corruption, stopping wastage of public resources, and promoting government efficiency, protecting the sovereignty of the people, the rule of law and constitutionalism.
The two leaders resolve to respect the identity and integrity of all political parties and to ensure respect and implementation of the provisions of the Political Parties Act. The dialogue and collaboration between the two leaders shall achieve its objectives by A, holding regular consultations on pressing issues of interest to the people of Kenya,
acknowledging that the nation will not develop without reinforcing democratic governance and the rule of law, conscious that the decay in democratic governance is expressed through skewed allocation of resources, ethnic intolerance, and marginalization.
The UDA-ODM pact now formalizes the broad-based government, which saw 5 ODM members join Ruto's cabinet, with more also expected to be appointed in the new agreement.
The signing of the UDA and ODM pact by both party leaders, President William Ruto and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, sets a new motion for political realignment in the country ahead of the 2027 general election. Giverson Minor, Prime Edition of the KICC, Nairobi.
Thank you, Giverson, for that report. Moving on, the camaraderie that characterized the UDA and ODM cooperation pact signing signaled the hitherto political antagonists' intention to ensure the agreement resolves political, social and economic challenges facing the country. President William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Odinga were praised for their statesmanship by leaders from either side of the political divide. Ruto severally referred to Raila as the Prime Minister, vowing to do all he can to earn Raila's respect locally and internationally. Our reporter Gishuki Washira puts into perspective the newly found Ruto-Raila bromance.
The signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the ruling UDA party and ODM party, two bitter political rivals, was momentous and nostalgic. President William Ruto reminisced his heydays in ODM party to acknowledge Raila Odinga's influence in shaping Kenya's politics.
Your Excellency, Raila Amolo Odinga, Prime Minister of Kenya and party leader of my former party.
And so he undertook to ensure the veteran politician is accorded his due respect.
My brother Raila Odinga, history is going to charge you fairly for what you have done for this nation. Immediately after the elections, several months after the elections, I called my brother and I told him, you have been my party leader. You have been my senior. Today, by God's grace, I'm president. I want you to be treated well. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure that you have respect in Kenya.
Various leaders praised Raila Odinga fondly, referring to him as Baba Wawote for prioritizing the interest of the nation.
This generation and the generations to come will be able to remember this occasion.
Strong leaders think the nation. Weak leaders think division. Congratulations.
That is us collectively who are present here today to witness this great occasion, to go out there and support the two brave men. Once to every man and nation comes a moment to decide. Then it is the brave man chooses, while the coward stands aside.
Even as those in government referred to him as the Prime Minister, Raila Odinga asserted that the agreement is not a coalition. Gishuki Washira, Prime Edition.
Now, legislators and a section of the citizenry have lauded the new political pact between the Orange Democratic Movement and the ruling United Democratic Alliance, saying the move is good for the unity and progress of the country. Kenyans, however, want the two leaders to use the newly charted path of political inclusivity to address the challenges bedeviling healthcare and education. Police brutality and the rising unemployment level are among other issues Kenyans want addressed.
We must appreciate kwamba si rahisi mtu kukubali opponent wake aketi karibu na yeye. Hiyo roho tumeipata kwa mtoto wa Kamagut peke yake, Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto. We thank you, we will work with you, we will walk with you.
Sisi tunataka tulipe ushuru na ushuru ifanye kazi. Na ushuru iende kila mahali. Na sisi tuko tayari kutembea njia hiyo.
Sisi tulifanya coalition ya earthquake, lakini tumeenda hatua zaidi. Kwa sababu hatutaki Mheshimiwa Rais akifanya kazi yake anaangalia nyuma nini inatendeka.
Wacha Mungu aunganishe hawa viongozi na wale wengine wote ili safari ya Dr. William Samoei Ruto iwe rahisi na iwe nyepesi kusaidia watu wa Kenya.
Yale imefanyika pale Nairobi siku ya leo, kaunti ya Uasin Gishu mahali president anatoka, sisi tunaunga mkono 100%.
With the people of Kisumu, we are so much happy with this inclusivity because number two, we don't want regional politics. We want a broad-based government whereby all of us shall be included for the purpose of the benefit of this country.
Matters touching on health, particularly the SHA, has been a problem, but I've heard Raila Amolo Odinga talk about it. The matters touching on abductions, we have also heard the two leaders talk about it. The matters touching on the compensation for the victims of the police brutalities, we have also heard them talk about that. Historical injustices on how they are going to address it, the matters touching on corruption, and any matter touching on the youth unemployment.
Sisi watu wa Homa Bay tumeshukuru, tena tunaunga hiyo kitu imefanyika between Raila na Ruto, tunaunga mkono na sisi tuko na 100% support.
Sasa nimeunga Raila na Ruto pamoja na mama Gladys Wanga pamoja na hii kaunti yetu ya Homa Bay na nchi ya Kenya. Najua mbeleni hapa Kenya itakuwa sawa na baba.
A section of opposition leaders led by Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka and his DAPK counterpart Eugene Wamalwa has termed the signing of the working partnership between President William Ruto and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga as a betrayal in the city. Speaking when they joined the People Dialogue Festival at Uhuru Park, Nairobi, the politicians said the partnership would only make sense if it comes up with a formula to compensate Kenyans who lost their loved ones during the street protests witnessed in 2023 and 2024.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa of DAPK have downplayed the pact between UDA and ODM, accusing the two political parties of betraying the people.
If there is no formula out of KCC today showing Kenyans how they are going to compensate the families and the loss of lives because of police brutality, then as my brother saying, nothing will come out of KICC other than betrayal of the Kenyan conscience.
And a few meters from here at KICC, there is another form of dialogue going on. So today, if you ever read Imbuga's book, Betrayal in the City, this is such a day today.
Kalonzo alleged that the new political arrangement is designed to cajole efforts to implement electoral reforms ahead of the 2027 political contest. Amid chaos, caused by some rowdy youth who are wearing UDA and ODM capes among the crowd, the Wiper Party leader added that Kenya Kwanza would face serious opposition from the people over injustice, corruption, and inability to govern. The group, who spoke at a People's Dialogue at the historic Uhuru Park, challenged the IBC selection panel to ensure it settles on a competent chairperson who will preside over the next general elections with integrity.
We are now going to have in place as soon as possible an IBC which we believe will be competent. We want to challenge the panel as they look at who is going to be the next chair of IBC, who is going to be the commissioner for IBC. They must come up with men and women of integrity.
Kalonzo said should he form the next government, he will be proactive in eradicating corruption and that his government's first executive order will be to do away with the housing levy.
We have said it and we shall continue to say it. Executive order number 1, do away with housing levy. Because it is theft. It is theft. Okay. Executive order number 1. If we get rid of corruption in our country, I want you to know the kind of thieving, the stealing of our power, and I'm happy to see wananchi against corruption. I'll tell you, we have to be systematic. We have to be decisive.
Tilio Marco for Easy Friday.
Dolores Jordan, the mother of renowned basketball legend Michael Jordan, has praised Kenya's efforts in the fight against gender-based violence. Jordan, who is in the country to champion the well-being of gender-based violence survivors, is however calling for homegrown solutions to address the uniqueness of the problem. She spoke in Roysambu constituency, where she launched a medical facility that will cater to the victims of gender-based violence.
For more than a decade, the Kenya Women and Children's Wellness Center, a brainchild of the Jordan family, has provided refuge to the survivors of gender-based violence in Kenya. The center, which currently caters to more than 100 survivors, has added to its arsenal a medical facility that will address the medical needs of victims.
I have grown from just focusing on women unto all gender, because I feel like not only women, but we need men. So when you came on the campus, you saw Kenya Women and Children Wellness Family Center. It stands for family. Because again, if you can heal the family, you can find growth.
According to the World Health Organization, 1 out of 3 women face gender-based violence.
By the time we have a gender-based violence victim come into this center, our society has failed. Because where she's coming from, or he is coming from, is a family that is getting broken. Our children that are witnessing violence, mothers that are organizing for their daughters and thinking what went wrong.
2019, I think we had about 14,000 cases seen in our facilities around the country. But last year we had about 54,000 cases seen in our health facilities and public health sector. So there is a rise in the number of cases seen in our facilities, and also the cases being reported. There is better reporting measures.
The Kenya Women and Children Wellness Center was established to assist Kenya in stemming gender-based violence, which has been on a steady increase in recent years.
Continue to support, not just talk about it in the press, but what are you going to do? This is your country and I'm just a foreign person in your land. What are you going to do?
We call upon each and every one of us to be aware of gender-based violence. It's a very bad thing that is happening to our young people.
The government is being challenged to ensure perpetrators of gender-based violence face the consequences of their actions and build more centers to provide refuge to those fleeing violence. On Saturday, Kenya will join the rest of the world in marking the International Women's Day amid calls on everyone to pull together in efforts to protect and defend women's rights.
With this year's International Women's Day theme being accelerating action to end gender-based violence, men have been urged to come on board to break the silence. Reporting for Easy Friday, my name is Kasichana Masha.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. For those joining us right now, this is Easy Friday. We proceed. Self-defense training is proving to be a crucial tool in empowering girls in the fight against gender-based violence. Anti-GBV advocates say that in addition to education and awareness, self-defense skills such as Taekwondo could be a game changer in ensuring girls' safety and confidence.
At the Roland Training Camp in Nairobi, young girls are learning Taekwondo techniques that could one day come in handy.
Give me a good push.
Through structured training sessions, the girls are getting skills on self-defense to counter assault.
Through this training, we'll be able to not only defend ourselves and also train other girls out there to defend themselves when it comes to harassment and violence.
With the increased cases of GBV, anti-GBV crusaders argue that these programs should equally be incorporated in schools as proactive measures.
There should be incorporation of the schools that we call the up-bed schools, or the low quality private schools coming from the informal settlements. There should be that involvement very closely, and then the government should stop talking about paperwork. We should begin to see realities on the ground.
They say self-defense skills is not about aggression, but preparedness.
We are supporting this Taekwondo class as a way to teach and work with girls in self-defense, and also how to support each other and be confident.
This is a very powerful space, because now we are preventing, we are teaching girls to take care of themselves. We know we are not exposing them to danger. We're just telling them that, you don't just take it lying down. You can run away, you can do something about it.
The sessions were organized by a non-governmental organization, Polycom Girls, in partnership with the United Nations Populations Fund. Doreen Arange for Easy Friday.
Now, a Nyandarua man has been sentenced to life imprisonment after being found guilty of defiling a minor. The accused also received additional sentences for causing grievous harm to 2 children in the same incident. The convict, David Kimani Njuguna, also faces a separate murder charge, with judgment expected in April this year. Details in the Scales of Justice segment.
A chief magistrate from Olkalau Law Court, Lynn Atamba, has handed David Kimani a life sentence after he was found guilty of defiling a 15-year-old girl. The magistrate also slapped Kimani an additional 40-year sentence for causing grievous harm to the girl and a 3-year-old boy. Kimani is facing murder charges at the Olkalau High Court for allegedly killing a 2-year-old boy on the same day, with judgment expected in April this year.
Justice has been done, has not only seen to be done, but it has been expediently done. We've managed to have the gentleman have a sentencing where on 2 counts, on defilement of the 3 minors, he was able to be charged with a maximum term of 40 years. And on the other 2 counts where he caused grievous harm to the 2 children, he was able to be actually sentenced to life imprisonment.
Separately at Milimani Law Courts, Nyeri Senator Wahome Wamachinga has filed a defamation suit against former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua over bribery allegation.
His allegation, him having been the first accused and me the second accused, he ought to have known that I can stand with my principles and that I voted not based on the influence from outside, but based on the evidence that was put before the House, and specifically so based on matters that were raised that were of national interest, and therefore thought that I voted the way I did because my conscience told me that is the right way to vote.
Gachagua is accused of claiming that Wamachinga accepted a 10 million shilling bribe to influence the Senate impeachment vote. The senator, through his lawyer Wycliffe Nyabuto, has demanded a public retraction and apology, warning of a lawsuit if Gachagua fails to comply.
To raise a demand notice over the utterances that were made by the former Deputy President. We have done so. The demand letter / notice has been served upon him, and he has 48 hours to respond to the demands in that notice. If not, we have instructions to institute legal proceedings against him earliest Monday, 10th of March.
Letua Debra for Easy Friday.
First Lady Mama Rachel Ruto has officially launched the National School Milk Program Pilot Project at Bondo Kosiemo Primary School in Nyatike constituency, Migori County. The initiative, a collaboration between the Kenya Dairy Board and the Meru Central Dairy Cooperative Union, aims to provide school children with essential nutrition while supporting the local dairy industry.
The National School Milk Program project will be piloted in 5 counties, with learners receiving a packet of milk twice a week for a whole year. Speaking at the launch, the First Lady reiterated her commitment to increasing school enrollment and improving child nutrition in the country, calling on members of parliament to prioritize education and nutrition by allocating a sufficient budget for the National School Meals Program.
I urge our county governments to allocate similar budgets to school meals and rally behind this initiative. A packet of milk in the hands of every primary school child is a key to their future, our farmers' prosperity, and our economy's growth. I challenge each of you to take just one small step towards ending hunger in Kenya.
The First Lady was accompanied by the Principal Secretary for Livestock Development, Jonathan Mweke, who emphasized the government's plan to introduce improved livestock breeds to enhance dairy production.
Tunajua afya ya watoto wetu ni kitu ya maana zaidi. Na leo ile maziwa imepatiwa hapa kwa hii shule itasaidia watoto wetu na afya yao. Tumesikia maziwa inakuanga na calcium, inasaidia mifupa zaidi, inakuanga na protein na kisha inakuanga na vitamins. Na hiyo afya ama nutrition itafanya watoto wetu wasome vizuri, wakuwe chonjo kama wako kwa darasa, na kisha waendelee kupeleka maisha yao mbele vizuri zaidi.
The school milk program aims to combat malnutrition and foster a culture of dairy consumption which supports the livelihoods of millions of smallholder dairy farmers across the country. Jacqueline Masharia for Easy Friday.
Labour Principal Secretary Shadrach Mwadime has affirmed the government's commitment to addressing unemployment by securing 200,000 foreign jobs for Kenyans since June 2024. The government intends to increase the number of jobs created to 1 million annually.
Speaking at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi, after flagging off 20 young Kenyans who are heading to Abu Dhabi, Labour Principal Secretary Shadrach Mwadime said the move will reduce the rate of unemployment in the country, which currently stands at over 5 million.
We are sending them out as our frontline economic soldiers to go and get as much as they can, come back home and invest, exploit the resources that we have, and indeed Kenya has a very high resource base.
The Principal Secretary noted that the government is investing heavily in job creation for the youth and urging them to take advantage of the available opportunities.
They are going out to work as drivers, taxi drivers in Abu Dhabi. This is just an indication to Kenyans that what we are doing is real. We are trying as much as we can to secure job opportunities in the Western European countries, in the Gulf region, and wherever else these opportunities open up.
He added that through the export of labor to other countries, Kenya stands to gain from technological know-how and economic growth.
What we are doing will not lead to brain drain. As I said earlier on, it will lead to brain gain, because we are gaining in terms of the savings that they will make. We are gaining also in terms of the know-how. When they go out there, they meet technology as it is currently, the latest technology, because they are going to developed countries. So when they come back home, they will transfer know-how back to our country.
For Easy Friday, I'm Christine Matunda.
Kenya Red Cross Kirinyaga chapter has joined forces with Stoma World Kenya to raise awareness about colon cancer. March, recognized as International Colon Cancer Awareness Month, focuses on combating stigma, advocating for improved healthcare policies, and providing home care support to survivors, particularly those in remote areas who struggle to access medical services. Details on this and other stories making headlines in our county news roundup.
During the colon cancer awareness event at Kerugoya Hospital Cancer Center in Kirinyaga County, Kenya Red Cross chairperson John Gathiga emphasized the importance of reaching marginalized communities, noting that their partnership with Stoma World Kenya allows them to extend support to patients who might otherwise be forgotten. Elsewhere, a youth leader from the office of Matungu Member of Parliament, Oscar Nabulindo, is nursing injuries after being attacked with a machete on the head at his home in Buhuru village.
Watu waliingia kigafla, walikuwa weusi hivi, wakasema wanatafuta mrono ambaye ni mimi. Walisema mimi nauza bangi na nao ni flying squad wametuma kutoka Nairobi.
Polisi ambao wameletwa Matungu waimarishe hali ya usalama kwa watu wa Matungu.
And the Narok County government has filed an appeal against a ruling by the Environment and Lands Court, which granted a 4,720-acre piece of land located in the heart of the Masai Mara National Reserve to Livingstone Kunini Ntutu, a brother of the county governor Patrick Ole Ntutu.
It's important to make clear that the legal dispute between Mr. Livingstone Kunini and the county government of Narok is not legal dispute between our collective family and the county government. Instead, it is an individual claim by Mr. Livingstone Kunini over the disputed land. I have instructed the county government of Narok legal team to review the above-mentioned judgment as well as the entire suit carefully so that they can advise the county government appropriately on the next course of action.
Finally, Busia County has allocated more than 24 million Kenyan shillings to 35 ward-based circles as part of its initiative to transform the rural revitalization model across the region.
Hii pesa imekuwa devolved to the last unit, our wards. Kwa hivyo ombi langu ni kwamba kama tunaweza multiply hii pesa leo, kesho kama county government itaweza kupata hata kama ni milioni 2, wapandishe juu. Pesa kwa wananchi is better than anything else. Hii pesa ikijenga hizi sako, uchumi ya Busia itakuwa, Busia will become a better place to live, na sisi wote tutaishi vizuri.
The county has urged the SACCOs to use the funds responsibly to empower local communities and enhance rural livelihoods. For Easy Friday, I'm Christine Matunda.
Now, it seems that keyboard warriors this week may have been visited by a rare spirit that pushes one to want to do nothing else but to go to church. What is more, in the social media realm, the spiritual push is directing all and sundry to attend a particular church in a specific place. Question: will they truly be going for spiritual nourishment at the Jesus Winner Ministry in Roysambu? The question lies with the answer lies with the savage netizens. Take a look.
What is this I'm hearing about the church and money? Well, I'll let the netizens school us.
Humble donations amounting to 120 million shillings. Wait, not Tanzanian or Ugandan shillings. The amount is Kenyan dollar offered to a church in Roysambu. This heap of money may have played a huge part in leaving a sour taste on netizens' angry taste buds. By the way? And because of that, they just decided that this Sunday they will be a little bit holier than thou and visit the church that accepted the donations.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Some making requests saying, kindly plan well for our visit and let there be no confusion in the program. More importantly, ensure our cups and plates runneth over before we leaveth with the balance.
Nataka muniombee. I'm going through a lot of problems. Na ni mimi nijiletea.
But what are the anticipated live scenes from the church this coming Sunday from some jolly netizens? Young Babu reassuringly, sisi hatuna ubaya, tunakuja maombi hapo Sunday.
Be fearless! Be fearless! Be fearless!
Though it seems like the church officials are seeking the cyber surfers to not be angered by the donations, some saying building the church is a job opportunity for many youths.
Our agencies, open your eyes. Here there is a job opportunity being offered, and it has been offered by love. Oh my God! Wow!
More wondered, who is these love offering jobs?
Nani?
John Jen affirming his decision. Recruitment inaweza fanyika Sunday. I will be there.
Makofi.
But to just conclude the matter, netizens assemble. I mean to ask you guys a question.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
So just because you guys have broke friends who you can ask for 20 shillings only so that you can survive just a day longer because you and your friends are struggling financially, that is the reason why some people shouldn't have baller friends who can give them 20 million shillings urgently to conduct some projects? Get serious, guys. You should know by now, building a church that will nourish your body and spirit is more important than building an economy that will nourish your stomachs.
My Lord, I wonder.
Well, over and out with this week's banger.
When you see a pretty girl and you're in the mood, you better think twice before you make your move. Me bread, you know. Give it up. Me and me brethren, them a walk on the street one night. We a laugh, we a talk, I enjoy the moonlight. Same time me brethren say, Charlie, prip to the right. When me look at one girl in a full suit of white, with the finger cock off and the pants fit tight. He said, Jesus.
Well, that's it for us. Catch you next week on Savage Netizens for Easy Friday. I am Teresa Mutai.
Moonlight. Same time me brethren say, Charlie, prip to the right. When me look at one girl in a full suit of white.
It's so difficult to keep a straight face after watching Savage Netizens. Thank you, Tess. We do appreciate you right here at Easy Friday for making our Friday memorable. Thank you very much, Tess. We now take a short break, but when we come back, Betty Kiptum will be on standby with all the news making headlines in the world of business. Don't go too far.
Aviator, bila data, bila credo. Dial *892# for instant takeoff. Prepare bila pressure kucrash au kucash out. Aviator bila data, Aviator bila credo. Uko na kabambe, wewe pia ni rubani mnoma. Dial *892#. Jet A1, michezobet.com. Cheza kwa kuwajibika. Kushiriki ni miaka 18 au zaidi. BCLB license number 0000664.
Imagine, unalea mtoto, anakuwa mtu mzima na anakuondokea, anakaa kivyake. Dakika ya mwisho, anarudi tu kama mtoto. Wewe ndio kumpea chakula, wewe ndio kumfulia nguo, wewe ndio mambo yote. Imefika mwisho, hata mkiangalia hii mtoto, kama mimi nilikuwa na uwezo, hangekuwa hivi. Kama dakika hivi naongea hivi. Hakuna dawa ya kukuza nyumba hii. Hakuna pesa ya kumrudisha hospitali. Tafadhali, naomba usaidizi kutoka kwenu na Mungu atawabariki.
Women have made great strides in the media today, KBC being an example. We have over 4 managers, and that's something that we are really, really proud of. But what about the larger media? How are we doing? I will say that we are really trying. Our numbers are increasing, but even as they increase, the boardrooms are still not filled with women. And for a woman to be in the boardroom, remain there, it is still a task in Kenya.
This is life. Life is real. Life happens. We plan for things, but sometimes they don't go the way we want them to go.
So setbacks are part of life. We have no control of that sometimes, many times. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we can take precautions. Okay. But it will still happen to all of us.
Yeah.
Yes. So life will happen to all of us.
The shame of asking for help.
Yes.
Because sometimes even when someone commits suicide, you'll always hear people say, but yangesema.
You have so many voices. You're busy looking for solutions. And if you're not careful, you will look for solutions everywhere.
Thank you for staying with Easy Friday. Happy International Women's Day ahead of the celebrations tomorrow to all women across the world who are watching, as well as the men who support women. My name is Betty Kiptum. This is the business news. Sugarcane and cassava are the crops that will fuel Kenya's clean cooking and energy drive that will leverage cogeneration of renewable energy and bioethanol. Energy Cabinet Secretary, that is Opiyo Wandayi, says Kenya generates 11.3 million litres of ethanol annually against a demand of 40 million, with the deficit plugged through imports. Weekly Fokech reports.
From the sugar sector.
Kenya's clean cooking and energy drive is anchored on increasing ethanol production from the current 11.3 million litres annually to 200 million litres by the year 2035.
Our coming here in this conference has been very useful in the sense that stakeholders and players in this sector are able to come together and share ideas and eventually agree on a way forward in terms of upscaling cogeneration and bioethanol uptake as a drive towards clean cooking.
Opiyo says the government is keen on upscaling the feed-in tariff instituted in 2018 by exploiting the sugar subsector's 300 megawatts potential.
And we also want to achieve the net zero by 2050. And you have an obligation as a signatory to the Paris Agreement as a country to progressively reduce our emissions, carbon emissions.
Already, Mumia Sugar Company is contributing 26 megawatts to the national electricity grid through the feed-in tariff formulation.
We are encouraging the sugar millers to take up this matter very, very seriously.
Wandayi spoke during a stakeholder cogeneration conference in Kisumu. Wycliffe Okech for Easy Friday.
Now, the Anti-Counterfeit Authority is shifting its fight against counterfeits online as digital platforms emerge as a major avenue for illicit trade. Anti-Counterfeit Authority Executive Director Dr. Robin Njoroge says up to 25% of counterfeit products in Kenya spread through e-commerce sites and online marketplaces, making the country's 22 million internet users a prime target for fraudsters, as Trevor Ngendo reports.
Kenya ranks third in e-commerce market in Africa behind Nigeria and South Africa. The rapid automation and growing mobile money adoption have made online shopping more accessible. However, this growth has fueled an increase in counterfeit goods sold through digital platforms.
According to our statistics, 25% of those who purchased a counterfeit product in the last 6 months bought them through online platforms, and 58% were textiles, mounting to about 26%. We had also footwear and apparels.
To cap this menace, the Anti-Counterfeit Authority is now shifting enforcement strategies to target fraudsters in the digital space. In partnership with the Anti-Counterfeit Network Uganda, the authority is now seeking to implement an AI-powered authentication tool that allows consumers to scan, verify and report fake products.
Systems that we have is like a CCTV. CCTV is like a post-mortem. How do you prevent a violence? It is CCTV only tells you like how the violence happened. So it is beyond that. So I think Bleep is one platform that actually empowers the public. It is to give them the gun in their hands. Like, yeah, you do it. Now you enforce it. So it is a preventive measure.
It provides a secure product mark, which is put on a product. It's not like the usual QR codes you can forge and so on. It's tamper-proof. So a customer can scan and it will be able to tell them that the product is genuine or not. But that requires the brands to participate and put that sticker on the product.
The move comes amid intensified crackdowns against counterfeits in physical spaces. Trevor Nginde for Easy Friday.
Now, decisive actions should be taken to fix the public debt that is currently at 11.02 trillion shillings. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi says domestic debt accounts for 5.83 trillion shillings, while 5.19 trillion shillings is by foreign creditors. Mbadi says most of the loans were taken between 2014 and 2019. Speaking in Mombasa, the National Treasury CS encouraged Gen Zs and other members of the public to take advantage of the budget-making process to present their views on programs that the government should focus on.
Every county has bunge la wananchi. We will have a conversation, all the counties, discuss finance bill. Then we invite people from all the 47 counties to come and have a sitting with me and tell me, in Mombasa, we have rejected this and this and this. So that when we take to parliament, we take what Kenyans have agreed on.
Inuka na loto moto sasa kwa star 570 hash option ya 4 kuna kashamba juja na nika 50 by 100 worth 1.7 million Kenyan shillings. Na hii si shamba tu, iko kwa prime location few minutes from Juja town. Stima yako iko ndani na kama ni development rapid and so promising. Na mambo ya landlord mwisho wa mwanzo ni hapa. Ukishinda hili shamba tunakuongeza 1 million Kenyan shillings ujijengee nyumba yako kwa shamba yako. Kuinuka na loto moto ni kucheza sasa hivi kupitia star 570 hash option ya 4 au register deposit na ucheze sasa hivi kwa www.tushinde.com na ujishindie shamba hili na addition of 1 million Kenyan shillings. Inuka na loto moto.
Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima tunajifunza kuhusu kilimo katika maeneo kame. Kisha tuangazie kilimo mjini.
Vijana wache kuchagua kazi, wajitume, wakoe kwa wafanye tu kitu inasaidia tu. Ile kidogo tunafanya washikane mkono, wapate mawazo badala ya kushinda kuenda kuiba, fanya pumbawa, kuja washikane mkono, washike jembe, wapande mboga, matunda yatatokea baadaye.
Usikose kujumuika nami Francis Ngala siku ya Jumamosi saa 10:30 upate mseto kamili wa kilimo.
Welcome back. Now, cooperatives should customize more financial products and services for women to bridge the gender gap and foster economic empowerment. Women in Cooperatives Kenya chairperson Evelyn Olunja says there is need for cooperatives to channel more resources into initiatives that support women build financial independence.
There are fewer women than their male counterparts in leadership roles within the financial services sector in Kenya. Women in Cooperatives Kenya officials say gender inequality persists, particularly in areas of access to capital that could be addressed through deliberate efforts to prioritize women in leadership roles and increasing funding for women-led financial initiatives.
Women leadership in cooperatives is quite a challenge because, as you already know, over 50% of cooperative membership are women. But when it comes to leadership, we are really underrepresented. And as such, it becomes difficult for women to get into those spaces because there are no policies that favor them.
They were speaking during a Women in Cooperative Summit that called for solutions to address additional hurdles women entrepreneurs face.
By investing in women, you're just adding more into the pot of entrepreneurs and drivers of the economy, so to speak. Because primarily it's been seen as male-driven. That's from a society perspective acceptable and the norm, but then we need to increase the pool of the economic drivers, and you've seen the women who have actually ventured into.
Their call comes ahead of this year's International Women's Day, which is marked tomorrow. Frederick Mwoki for Easy Friday.
Agricultural institutions have hailed the role played by women in the food and nutritional security of communities. Led by the International Livestock Research Institute, the institutions say more needs to be done to address barriers faced by women, such as limited access to land, seeds, fertilizer, credit, and low influence over agricultural and food-related decisions. They have tailored a training, mentorship, and support for women in the agriculture value chain to empower them for sustainable and equitable food systems.
There's a critical importance of gender-responsive policies to ensure that women get equitable access to finance, to technical assistance, so that they can really help grow our productivity, so that we don't have to be importing food and we're able to produce enough nutritious, high-quality food for a growing continent that will double by 2050.
We have to mentor the young women who are coming into this career. And at Award, we actually have a program where we are building the leadership capacity of young women so that they can, first of all, be in agriculture, stay in agriculture, but also become leaders.
Digital currency provider Kibbett is calling on Kenyans to embrace virtual currencies for economic empowerment, financial institution, as well as technical advancement. Business Development Executive Joshua Yah allayed fears associated with cross-boundary risks associated with virtual currencies such as money laundering, terrorism financing, tax evasion, fraud, and cybercrime, noting that these would be addressed by the draft National Policy on Virtual Assets and Virtual Assets Service Providers Bill of 2024 that is at the public participation stage.
The government's priority is to protect the citizens, so I make sure the bad exchanges don't come here, have scam, take away people's money, ordinary market woman, market man, you don't take away their life saving. Well, so that's very reasonable, so we understand it. I think the government is usually, I'm sure in Kenya's case, is doing a good job understanding what crypto is. I think we just need more dialogue and more understanding.
We always try to be as compliant as possible in regions and market where there are very clear regulatory guidelines. We try as much as we can to follow those guidelines. But we also understand that crypto is quite new globally, so not all countries of the world have clear regulations for crypto at the moment. So what we have also tried to do is that for countries where there are clear regulations, we try as much as we can to work with the regulators. And
this room that you are is well appreciated with a round of applause as it gives us the security briefing.
Well, that is the business news this evening on Easy Friday. Remember to celebrate a woman tomorrow. That is the International Women's Day. My name is Betty Kiptum. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing and have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
A1, cheza avieta bila data bila credo. Dial *892# for instant takeoff. Pepea bila pressure kucrash au kucash out. Avieta bila data, avieta bila credo. Uko na kabambe, wewe pia ni rubani mnoma. Dial *892#. Jet A1, michezobets.com. Cheza kwa kuwajibika. Kushiriki ni miaka 18 au zaidi. BCLB license number 0000664.
Prepare something small for you.
Thank you. I'm well staffed.
You make a very good cop. These people are watching each and every move that you're making. Uchunge sana usisleep wewe.
Watu nawaelewa. I forgot all about life. If life feels that way, then why did you live it?
And that's one thing, Mwelewi. My life is my career.
I will summon my husband.
Let's talk outside.
What has brought you to Kenya? A wife needs to take good care of the hubby. Why did you have to come all the way? Mr. Kaikarasa here was very well taken care of by Jacinta. Who is she?
Welcome back to Easy Friday. It's now time for us to take a look at what's making headlines in the world of sports. Now, the national rugby sevens team, Kenya Lionesses, will face Colombia in the main cup semi-finals of the ongoing second leg of the Challengers Series in Cape Town, South Africa. Kenya won her opening Group A match against Belgium and Uganda to seal the semi-final spot. Lionesses beat Belgium 17-5 in their first encounter at Athlone Stadium. Captain Grace Okulu scored a hat-trick of tries to guide Kenya to the victory. Femke scored the lone Belgium try that was not converted. Kenya faced East African neighbors Uganda in the second fixture, with Lionesses emerging with a 10-5 win. Kenya will now face Colombia in the semi-final tomorrow, whilst Czechia will play South Africa in the second semi-final. Kenya will be seeking to clinch the second leg of the Challenger Series after winning the first leg held at the same venue last weekend. After the Cape Town legs, the top 8 men's and women's teams will progress to the third round in Krakow, Poland on 11th to 12th April.
Ability, as well as strength, skill, and a hunger to score tries.
She putting her hand up for player of the tournament is Grace Okolu. She does so well.
The Kenya Junior Starlets expect a tough game against Uganda tomorrow afternoon in the FIFA Women's Under-17 World Cup qualifier at the Nakivibu Ham Stadium in Kampala, Uganda. But they are determined to come back with an away victory in their quest for another consecutive appearance at the finals, scheduled from October this year. Head coach Mildred Cheche says there is a lot of expectations for the team following their historic World Cup qualification last year, but they will not take any chances against Uganda, who reigned over Namibia 18-1 on aggregate in the first round, to set up a date with the Junior Starlets, who were given a bye the second round. The winner of the home and away tie will proceed to the third round, where they will either meet Cameroon or Ethiopia. The top 4 nations from the final round will join hosts Morocco in the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup finals, scheduled from the 17th of October to the 8th of November this year.
We expect a very tough opposition, a challenging opposition. Looking at the previous game they played against Namibia, it means they're also well organized. What Kenya brings to the team has given us nightmares for the past 8 days. So we've got to do everything, have to plan everything, whether it's a corner, a throw-in, everything is planned meticulously for us to do it in the game.
Ethiopia's legendary athlete Haile Gebrselassie will be in Kenya next month to sign a memorandum of understanding with the organizers of the Eldoret City Marathon. Legendary Kenyan athlete Moses Tanui confirmed this today, saying that they expect the Ethiopian legend on the 26th of April to sign the pact that will go a long way in promoting collaborations between the two countries, which will impact on sports tourism in East Africa. The 6th edition of the Eldoret City Marathon will be held on the 27th of April in Eldoret.
Tumeamua mimi Gebrselassie na Tanzania na Uganda tufanye partnership ili East Africa tujenge mbio zetu ili hata wasungu wakuja wakimbie na sisi. Tutafanya partnership hapa tarehe 26 mwezi wa 4. Hiyo ndio mpango yetu kubwa katika East Africa. tumealika watu kutoka partners wetu kutoka.
Moving on to matters volleyball, Kenya Prisons succumbed to a 3-1 loss to DCI during the fourth leg match of the Kenya Volleyball Federation Women's National League, played on Friday at Nyayo Gymnasium. DCI, who are placed third on the standings, won the first set 25-12 before Prisons staged a comeback in the second set, only to go down fighting 25-22. Prisons regrouped in the third set and won it 25-22, but a determined DCI, helped by strong serves and organized backcourt, trounced Prisons in the fourth set 25-22 to win the tie and tighten their grip on the third place on the 12-team standings. In other results, defending champions KCB defeated Young Spikers by straight sets of 25-8, 25-7 and 25-4. KDF disarmed Kenya Army by 3-1 of 20-25, 25-21 and 25-19 and 25-19, while league leaders Kenya Pipeline got a walkover after their opponents Vihiga failed to honor the fixture.
Tuli train hard na tulifuata tu kitu coach alitufunza, that's why tuliwin.
Sisi hatuna pressure sababu teams ambazo tunacheza nazo tumekutana nazo sana sana, but ambalo tunaenda kufanya ni kuongeza tu zoezi yetu. Tulijua jana
na nimpoteza wachezaji kama wawili pia kwa timu hizi kubwa. Nimepoteza kwa KDF, mwingine akaenda Rwanda, but tumetafuta wengine, tumeleta kwa team, ametusaidia, wamebeef up the team na tunaendelea mzuri sasa hivi.
The national women's boxing team hit squad arrived in NIS Serbia today ahead of the 14th edition of the IBA Women World Boxing Championship scheduled from tomorrow to the 16th of March. The women's hit squad is led by Captain Elizabeth Andiego, who will be participating in her 5th World Championship. Andiego, the light heavyweight pugilist, is joined by 7 other boxers in the team, namely Veronica Mbithe, Lanza Akinyi, Amina Martha, Pauline Chege, Emily Juma, Cynthia Mwai, and Frieza Anyango. Emily Juma, a product of Kariobangi North's Box Girls, will be making her debut at the international stage, as well as Cynthia Mwai and Lanza Akinyi. This will be Kenya's 5th appearance at the championship, having appeared in the 2010, 2012, 2022 and 2023 editions. The championship has attracted 500 boxers from over 40 countries.
Kulingana na hizo World Championships zenye nimeenda, na feel niko very ready to go for the medal na nitapeana my all. Nasema hivyo kwa nini? My coaches wamedo all they can do to prepare us for the games.
And niko excited sana, this being my first international debut. Nime-train poa, makocha wame-train venye wangeweza, ku-make sure that tuko na hizo skills zenye ziko needed to tackle such a game.
And finally, Manchester United were held to a 1-1 draw away to Real Sociedad in the first leg of their Europa League last 16 tie last night. Joshua fired United ahead in the 57th minute with a powerful strike from outside the area in San Sebastian. However, Mikel equalized Victoria despite finishing with 9 men as Gustav netted the winner in the 98th minute. And that brings us to the end of Easy Friday tonight. Thank you so much for staying with us. Remember, the conversation continues online, so keep the engagement going. Our sign language interpreter this evening has been Lucy Moura. Up next, get ready to groove as DJ Cooljax takes over with the Disco Funk Show. I'm Caren Kibbett. Have a fantastic weekend and a good night. Good night.